Hello, folks. How are you doing? My name is Ronnie Branch. Welcome to a new day of walking with Jesus Christ. And I felt some great inspiration and wisdom actually come into my life. And I want to share it for today's message, okay? And, how do you know if you're really a true Christian? How do you know if you're really saved? Okay, and how do we know we're really living for God? Okay, versus the evil one, which, we talked about that, but I want to continue to engage in this conversation, okay? I want you to look at your life, and can you honestly say that you hate sin? Okay, this is where I want to really get at with today's conversation. Do you hate the thought of destructive thoughts? Okay, it's kind of like, when, you can't serve two masters. You can't basically love one and expect to love the other, and it kind of works in complete harmony like that, doesn't it? Okay? It's like, when you shine the light onto the darkness, what happens? The darkness disappears. And what happens when the dark just emulates throughout the room and there's no light? There's nothing but darkness. And so you have to look at yourself and say, do you hate darkness? Okay, or do you actually hate the light? What do you like? Do you kind of like the light and you like a lot of the dark? Well, that pretty much tells you where you are with your Christianity and your relationship with God. Okay? And here's the thing, folks. You may have some issues regarding sin. We all, we all have sin, and we just have to continue to strive for righteousness. Okay? Are you the kind of person that says, I hate sin so much, and maybe you have an issue with some sin, and you need God to really strengthen your soul and the light. And in doing that, you are going to actually hate the dark and wickedness and sin that is attached with wickedness. If you can honestly say that that's where you are, and maybe you have like a sin that goes on in your life, well, guess what? It means God's working on you, changing your heart, your mind, your soul, conditioning you. You're going through a transitional phase to be with Jesus Christ, the blessed hope. And if that's the case, then you need to keep working. We all have many different types of things. The only person the only person, God, Jesus Christ basically is perfect as Jesus Christ, the blessed hope. There's no man that's perfect. Okay, and otherwise we're calling God a liar. But all we can do is strive for righteousness. And as you strive for righteousness, you're going to develop a hatred for sin. Not towards mankind, okay, but you're going to hate and despise wickedness and sin. Maybe you have things in your life going on right now and you hate some things that you do. It's going to get to a point where God's going to work on you long enough to the point where you're not going to want to do that anymore. The thought would not even want to come across in your mind anymore. Why? Because you despise it. Because you're living too much, okay, for righteousness in God. Just becoming like a shield, a tower, surrounding you with thoughts of love, purity, serenity, hope, inspiration. And that's an amazing feeling, okay? Or you are totally converted as a Christian and you've totally turned away from your wickedness. Okay, so this is what this message is about, is understanding where you are as far as sin. Do you hate sin? Do you look at yourself and say that you're a Christian and you basically love to do one thing that that God would not approve of. You love to do it and you basically have no conscience, that you don't care. And then you kind of think, well, I like God too. You're not saved. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not. Okay, you might be a slightly lukewarm Christian. Probably not even a lukewarm Christian in a sense, because you love and you have that deep root of sin, and you need God that's going to break that rock of sin and destruction to have the devil flee from you. Okay, and God will work on you. God will work on you, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, there's nothing to be ashamed. God is willing to forgive any sin. Okay, but we can't live our life doing one sin and think that we're actually living a holy life and doing all the right things in other areas. It doesn't work that way. If you broke one sin, you basically broke all the commandments, basically. Look at yourself. Are you the kind of person that's cold and mean and just like shoos someone away? Or do you have a consciousness that you care, you have humbleness, and that you really have, deep sympathy and you care about this person? That means truly you're saved. It means you have the love of Jesus Christ in your heart. More especially if you've even had a relationship of some kind, like you've known this person for some time. Okay? The thing is, folks, is that what does God says? Love mankind. Treat others as you want to be treated. Love your enemies that do you wrong. Okay? Bless those that do you wrong, that hurt you, that slander your name. If you get sued, let them take your cloak away. Okay? When you're living high in righteousness, you're not thinking of things of this world. Oh, like I'm getting sued, I need to get a lawyer, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to... That's all the little voices, the panic, the fear that the devil is just consuming and just boiling your blood pressure. It means you're not saved. Okay? And you need to really trust in God. That's what I do. And as I continue to grow myself in righteousness and think about God, I think about all the small things that sometimes were bigger woes, or could be like a bigger thorn, and how they seem to be little thorns to where it just becomes no thorns. You know why? Because this is God's promise, that when you put your trust in God Almighty, God will deliver you from everything. Okay? God will deliver you from things of this world that bring the woes, where people do sing the woes, and they do. You have to put your trust in God. And you'll feel it. It's just an amazing feeling. And you want to stay on that path. Once you're there, you're getting momentum for yourself. Keep your eyes focused on Jesus Christ, because the moment we take our eyes away and things of this world and worldly possessions and desires and things like that, it's so easy to get caught up in that. And you know what it says in scriptures. A rich man's going to have a hard time going to heaven. He won't want to give it up. Or as we continue to gain fame or popularity, and if we have to, make some critical sacrifices, we're like, well, we're so accustomed to this lifestyle, we feel that it gives us pleasure in some shape or form. Sometimes even a relationship. The point is, folks, is that if people are not walking on that same path that you are towards righteousness, okay, you don't want to commingle. All you want to do is pray and let God work for those people. That's all you can do. You can pray and just hope that God will renew their heart, get them on the right path, because you know what? The path is broad and it's leading to hell, my friends. You need to turn yourself away from that. Get on the path of righteousness. It's narrow. It's a hard path, or so it seems at first. But what happens is that as you continue to walk down this path, you continue to feel the joy of the Lord and His almighty righteousness. And as you do, it becomes so easy. It's kind of like when you work out a muscle. It seems hard at first. Over time, it's like a natural thing. You just want to keep doing it. But you know what, folks? Getting strong for God is the greatest thing you can invest your time in, live your life accordingly to. It's a beautiful thing. It brings gladness to a man and a woman's heart. It really does. And the thing is, folks, people are chasing a false illusion where womankind will let you down, possessions will break, things will rust and become no more. What you thought and you actually valued or idolized lost its appreciation and value. And all you had to do was just focus on storing your treasures up in heaven, walking down the path where Jesus Christ wants to give you love and hope, wants to inspire you, love you, and show you as you're walking down this path of righteousness how this blessing and this blessing and this blessing, you know what? These blessings that are added are things that people think that they're blessing themselves over here by putting things on their shoulder. And what happens with these so-called, they think they're getting some sort of blessing and think it's from God. It's not, my friends. Okay, because you're not doing it. You're not honoring God. You're not letting God lead the way. When you're walking down this path towards righteousness, and something good happens in your life, well, guess what? You know it's a good thing. You know that you're on course, and you know that God absolutely is doing this, okay? But two people, people have got to stay on the course to make this happen for themselves. That's why the road is narrow. It will feel lonely at times. It kind of makes me think about being on a ship. Do you remember that movie? I think how you pronounce it, Poseidon Adventure, where many people drowned and they died because the ship, or even the Titanic. Okay, well I think everybody died on the Titanic, but the Poseidon Adventure, what happened? Those people drowned. They kept trying to climb up. If you remember that movie, but very few actually survived. But the majority died. And that's what it means, folks, that the pathway is broad and it's going to hell. The destruction, damnation, where you're corrupting yourself. Versus the wise. What do the wise do? They move. They move their hands. They think with their mind. And they take action. And this is what it means, folks. You have precious life, the gift of life that God has bestowed and given you, the breath of life. Definitely take advantage of that, okay? And make sure that you get on that path. And how do you stay on this path? You fellowship with other like-minded Christians that care and they love you. They have the same love for Jesus Christ. And these are the people you definitely want to fellowship with. And that way it'll make it easier to continue to stay on course. It's kind of like a running buddy when you work out, when you try to motivate yourself. And it becomes a bit of a challenge sometimes, right? It does for some people. Then again, you got a few people that just go make it happen. The real leaders that says, you know what, I'm just going to go make it happen and transform my physique around. But you know what? Don't spend all your time working on your physique, because you only have, some people idolize, or they do something as if they feel that they're going to live forever. You're not going to live forever, my friends. Make sure that you're devoting the majority of your time, putting your focus towards God. God knows that you have other interests and needs, and God just wants to make sure that you're going to devote time and share the love of God. Do the work of God. So folks, I hope this video cast has helped you. It's got you thinking about your life. Okay? There's so much to this, okay? I'm really thinking very deep about this, okay? I've been up for a long time, so I look a little tired. That's probably because I am. But I felt inspired to make a message. And that's what it means, when I could just be like this, and if I feel that the Lord is that's going to share some knowledge and enlighten me, I by all means, I got to get it done, okay? It's that important. I hope this message has touched you, friends. And I will see you in my next video cast. Take care and God bless you. Bye.